Get the F out. How many of us have been in a workplace where you get into a situation to where you're doing a job and between you and one other person, you guys are so busy that you couldn't possibly lose one of the two of you. Things are so busy, you could barely take an opportunity to use the restroom. And when you go home, you can't help but think, man, I gotta do that crap all over again the next day. I can't wait. Things get so busy that your mental health starts to decline. You don't feel so good anymore. You're not really sure if how you feel is because of your job or because you were desperate and you went to McDonald's for lunch. You're not really sure what it is, but all you know is that you are constantly stressed. There's a lot of need for your position. You need the pay. You need to be able to pay the bills, but you're stuck. And you're stuck in this stupid rat hole of a job that doesn't love you. They don't care about you. You're just some person, some other asshole who is willing to sit in the chair. You're the newest version of the dumbass who is willing to take the job. And if you don't want to do it, the company you work for will find someone who is willing to do it. And more we see this. I hear stories, job seekers all the time tell me about their awful toxic situations where employers don't respect them. People work hard. They don't get promoted. People work as contractors and don't get hired full time. This is bad behavior on the part of employers. And this is exactly what we get when we don't have small businesses. This is exactly what we get when our employers suck. When we no longer have the power to be in control of our own destiny. When we give up that control and we no longer care whether we are the ones making the decisions or not. We get what we deserve. I'm on Reddit and we have this great post from upheld 7345. They say, my colleague left and I've been forced to take on her role and my own without any additional pay. I'm getting serious stick for falling behind on both roles. How do I tell management I can't work two roles at once? Without reading any more, I'll tell you what, this is extremely common. This is the -1 employee scenario where an employer says, well, we need 3 people to do the job competently. 3 people to do the job competently. But then some person with an MBA does the math. It says, well, based off of the Excel spreadsheet, we need 2.2 people to do the job. So we could probably just get by with 2 to cut down on costs. And so this is the -1 theory. The -1 theory, in this case, you have 2 people doing the job. You need 3, but the employer is intentionally short staffing in order to save money. And this has actually been going on for, actually it's been really serious since 2008. Where a lot of companies are doing everything they can to save money. And the biggest expense for a company, generally speaking, are wages. And so what a lot of these places are doing is companies like to short staff where they don't really need an extra person, or at least on paper, they don't need it. All right, so let's go ahead and read this. I'm 24, 10 months into working as a temp. As a temp? Yeah, it just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? So not only are we looking at a situation to where you have 2 people and you need 3, but you're doing 2 people, this company isn't even willing to hire full-time staff to do the job. It's needed. The role is required for the company, but they don't want to hire a full-time person. They are delegating the responsibility fully onto temp people as full-time employees. Boy, that is super low. That is really bad. Okay, let's keep reading. The other temp left abruptly, and I was thrown into her role with 1 day's notice. I was told she'll come back in a week or 2. Now it seems she isn't coming back at all. This was 4 weeks ago since I've been expected to do my current workload and keep up on hers. Yes, and we've talked about this a lot. A lot of these employers who are desperate this way, who short staff, they also lie like crazy. They know all they have to do is dangle a carrot out there for you All they know is that they have to give you some ounce of hope, just a little bit of hope, to keep you engaged, to keep you thinking that there's a chance that things are going to get better, when they know damn well that things aren't going to get better. And I guarantee you that whole freaking time they haven't been looking for a replacement for that person. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Because they know that if they can squeeze time out of you, productivity out of you, if they can limp by and get away with only having one person minus two, be short-staffed minus two people. Oh boy, they look like geniuses now, don't they? They get by with minus two people. And they're not even two people. These are temp workers, which means temp workers, generally speaking, aren't really even fully employees. So they're not really expected, generally speaking, to be a full employee. You're not really expected to be as productive. You're just there to fill a temporary need. I was already overworked before taking both jobs. I essentially have two supervisors. I have 100 unread emails, and I physically can't get to them. Things are falling in between the cracks. My old role was managing desk, office, and meeting room bookings for 2,000 on-site employees and ad hoc visitors from our other sites. I was also responsible for things like surveying the 80 meeting rooms and 40 offices to ensure chairs, IT, etc., all up to date, working, etc., and the site maps. Now I'm also managing the site help desk and get around 50 complaints or requests for cleaning to be assigned a locker or getting a meeting room set up for catering every single day through the portal. I then have to organize getting these actions by calling or emailing others. I'm exhausted and can't keep on top of everything. I'm getting a lot of stick for not doing enough from my first supervisor, who is notorious for passing work on to others. In fact, I was hired to just assist her workload, and now I answer 90% of our shared emails. I'm already looking elsewhere for work. I've done 2 internal interviews this week alone to get out. What should I do? Well, let's unpack this for a little bit. First things first, if this company operates this way, why the hell are you doing internal interviews? Get the F out. Seriously. If a company functions this way, you should not work there. Actually, none of you employees should work there. You should say, this is bunk. I need to leave. This company should fail. And that's one of the biggest things, especially in America, that we need to learn. If the company sucks, let them fail. And I'll give you the easy answer to this. Just don't show up one day. Just leave. Yeah, just it's really negative, and quite frankly, doesn't really look very good on you. And you'll be blamed for this, for the failure. But the simple solution is these people, this company is acting badly. They're behaving extremely poorly. Their behavior is bad. This is an example of a company that should go under. So it's wrong what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that you simply don't go. You pick a day, you pick a Monday, you pick a day where they're really going to feel it, and you just don't go. It's as simple as that. And yes, I know they're going to blame you. I know it's going to look bad on you, but it's time to go. It's time for us to say, as employees, as job seekers, to say, if you suck as an employer, I'm gone. Never working here again. It's time to go. Now, I know it's hard. I know it. I know you need a job. And that's the real crap of it is, if you're not willing to do it, they're just going to find someone who will. And then that person's going to get crapped on. They're going to walk in. They're going to be the only one. And that supervisor's going to go, yeah, well, your job is to do all this stuff. That's your job. They're not going to have any training. They're not going to get anything. They're not going to get anything to prepare them for the crap that they're about to experience. I tell you, one of my jobs I had when I was really desperate, I worked in a call center. And this call center, we did technical support. When I worked there, everybody was happy. The morale was very high. People basically just, did their jobs. They came into work on time. They got on the phone. They did the best they could at the time. And they did their job. And then one day, the company hired a new MBA. At the corporate office, this MBA started sending emails to people. Started saying things like, you were a minute late from your bathroom break. Your break was over at 2:45 and it is now 2:46. They started sending emails where we were no longer allowed as employees to stand up as we were talking on the phone. We had to be sitting in our chair. They said we can no longer talk to somebody who is next to us because someone might hear our conversation over the phone, even if nobody was on the phone. So we could not talk to employees. We could not stand up at our desk while we were talking on the phone. We could not get up and go to the bathroom if we needed to. We could not be a minute late from our break. And the morale went down. The people who had been there for multiple years, they showed us. They were super tough and they toughed it out. And they ended up having two classes of employee. Those who were the tough veterans who had been there forever, and the people who showed up and said, I ain't put up with this. So they had people who are experienced and people who are inexperienced and nothing in between. Company went out of business, by the way. And that's what should happen. In those situations when you can't treat your employees correctly, when you cannot manage them properly, you should go out of business. And if you don't know how to manage them properly, you need to find somebody who can. And I'm not talking about somebody with an MBA. Don't look at pieces of paper. Pieces of paper are just paper. You need somebody who legitimately cares and legitimately wants to do a good job. I don't know where this company is if this person is working. I feel terrible for this person. I can only imagine what it must be like. Because really what I'm reading, they probably need, like you said, at minimum 2 people just to kind of get the work done. But they probably definitely need at least a 3rd, maybe even a 4th person to get all this work. Because I'm seeing a lot of different jobs here. And they're taking advantage of you. They're taking advantage of every person who walks in the door. Everybody. So I know it's wrong. I know it's not the right thing to do. But it's time to move on. It's time to do the right thing. It's time to stand up for yourself. It's time to say, I'm tired of this crap. Time to go. That's it for today, everybody. I'm 𝐸𝐴𝐸. This is 𝐽obferno. If you have any questions, send me an email at questions@𝐽obferno.com. And as always,